But if there's one takeaway right here, and it's getting a foundational tool, a foundational
Listen to it with me. Hi, this is again
that's
Christy from
critical
Christian's
for
Love.
your
Welcome
body
back to
to
my
up that
channel.
percentage
I'm
gain
just
of health
listening
right there.
to
So why
Tony
celery
Robbins
juice?
Q&A bonus day.
That's not just a
Habang
green juice. What celery juice
gutom ako
is,
sa gabi.
it's herbal medicine. It's
So,
an herbal
it's about
extraction.
energy,
And some
and suggested to do is to drink
others.
celery every day in the
Celery
morning
juice,
or whenever you are
right?
you are able
And get
to.
a lot
Tapos,
out of it. So you're drinking a lot of
avoid
herbal
drinking
medicine. That's what
coffee.
you're doing. So that's one thing that's really
Oh
important
my
right there. The thing
gosh.
about celery juice is it does something for every single organ. It's the flusher. It's the liver flusher. It neutralizes and binds onto all those poisons, and it starts to clean and flush out that liver. Celery juice also gets to the brain. It's the ultimate electrolyte. The ultimate electrolyte. You know what happens with celery juice when people start doing it? They say the needle's moving. Like it moves the needle. I've been doing green juice.
Tayo kanin, tsaka
I've been eating healthy. I've been doing healthy keto. I've been doing healthy plant-based. I've been doing healthy vegetarian. I've been doing Mediterranean healthy. Whatever somebody picks, whatever diet they're doing.
Noodles.
I'm doing this autoimmune diet. I'm doing this other diet, right? But I'm hanging in there, but the needle's not moving. The needle's not moving. And all of a sudden, they bring in the celery juice, and boom, the needle starts to move. A week later, 2 weeks later, something's changing. And their game is up right there. Their energy shifts. Their
you
energy
should not add
changes.
anything
Right there is
pala.
when it happens. And that's what
Let's drink celery juice na
has the
from
ability
now
to do.
on.
So let's talk about energy a little bit more too, right?
This year.
So here's an important thing to know. It's your adrenals right there. Critical. It's a critical part of our energy, right? When the adrenals get beaten down, okay?
Drink celery,
then
everybody.
we're in trouble. Because that's a big part
Instead
of
of
our energy
anything
producer
juice
right there
or
is that adrenaline,
coffee,
right? So we need some
celery,
kind of a
mag-celery na
foundation
tayo
to
this
bring
year.
back adrenals. And celery juice offers this
Hindi pa
complete
to celery.
electrolyte, these trace mineral salts. They
Lemonade
get
pa to.
into the adrenals, they absorb into the adrenals, so you give them
Cucumber.
more healing ability when you sleep at night. So that's one way people start to come back. They start to revive. They start to revitalize and get their lives back because their adrenals are being charged back up. So one thing that herb does for you right there, okay, that's an important one too. So here's what happens. As we lose energy and organs are breaking down, right? Your liver's starting to break down over time. It's getting tired, stagnant, sluggish. Your stomach can't produce the hydrochloric acid to break down your food anymore. Your food's rotting in your gut because that's what happens. All the fats and the proteins go rancid and putrid, right? The intestinal tract starts to get clogged up. Sediment starts to build up on the insides. And then the blood gets thick and toxic, you guys. The blood gets thick and toxic. But when that blood gets thick and toxic, the heart starts to overwork. And then we lose a percentage right there where the heart is now overworking. That heart muscle is overworking. The blood is thick and toxic. And we're starting to lose vitality, right? And then less oxygen gets to the brain, so we're starting to lose vitality, okay? And that's what happens. And then what do? We get jacked up on caffeine. We start hitting the caffeine hard, right? Give me another espresso. Give me another.
Ay, wait. Nabasa yung aking laptop.
Yeah, no, give me the 3 o'clock. There too. We're trying to the energy loss. So now we're trying to supersede. We're trying to overcome the lost percentages. Nobody knows what the lost percentages are. Just walking around. Yeah, I feel like crap today lately. No, I've been feeling like crap for months.
Yeah, I feel like
I saw my functional medicine doctor.
My body's feeling like so.
Yeah, I saw my.
Tired.
I'm working on with my practitioner, working with my doctor, and we don't see these percentages lost. So it's all about now guessing games. Oh, try this, do this, whatever. And we're jacked up on caffeine at the same time. We're jacked up on the green tea. Absolutely. Jacked up on the black tea. We're jacked up on the coffee. We're jacked up on the chocolate. So we got to caffeine ourselves to mask the energy loss, right? We need the matcha to match that energy loss. We're trying to supersede it. And what's really happening is we're trying to actually steal some more adrenaline. So we're jacked up on the caffeine to get more adrenaline out of our adrenals, to get that epinephrine going, because we need a drug, and we need to drug ourselves because those percentages we're losing every single day. Your heart, a little percentage there. Your lungs, even a little percentage there. Absolutely. Your liver, your stomach, your intestinal tract, your adrenals, and then the kidneys too. They take a hit as well. So you got 5% here, 2% here, 4% here, 10% there, 12% there, any given day, any given hour, 20% there, 10% here. We don't know anything that's happening. We don't know why, where, what. We're not feeling good. We need more drugs, more caffeine to supersede and overcome, because this is fake energy right here. We're doing the fake energy and we're not fixing anything. We're not creating that foundation. 16 to 32 ounces of celery juice on an empty stomach in the morning, because what you're going to do is you're going to flush that liver and start up in that game, up in that percentage. You're going to be bringing trace minerals, critical ones, to the brain right here. You're going to be removing some metals and other poisons and toxins that want to come out. You're dying to come out. You're going to be flushing that intestinal tract and that colon and small intestinal tract, and starting to clean
Celery lang pala,
stuff
guys.
out. And you're going to be thinning the blood right there.
Oh,
Your
man,
heart's going
guys,
to be pumping
this
less
month,
harsh, like it's not going to have to
let's
go
focus
boom,
on health
boom, boom,
and
boom,
drink
boom.
celery.
Instead, it's going to be
Do not add
easy
anything.
going. It's not going to have to pull all that thick, toxic blood, because you're going to be cleaning the blood. And that's about getting energy back. That's what we're talking about right there.
Okay.
Don't add anything to your celery. Don't do the store-bought stuff either, because that's HPP. You know, it's just sitting there for a week or two on the shelf. You think it's fresh. It's not fresh. You want to make that stuff fresh. I don't care if you got to do it in a juicer. I don't care if you got to do it in a blender and squeeze it through a cheesecloth. And don't add anything to it. No water, no ice, no lemon. Straight herbal medicine right there. Strain it with a strainer after you juice it. That's your foundation, a foundational tool. Millions and millions of people are drinking this right now, and they're using it as their foundational tool.
Sabaw na lang ang nagpapainit sa akin
That's
ngayon.
another tool. And you can do that
Pero guys,
another
sino
day,
nagpapainit
or
sa
at a
inyo?
different time of day if you want. This right here, that's your energy.
Sabaw na lang ang
That
nagpapainit
is
sa
your
akin.
flusher. That is your brain restorer. So you do one day at a time. If you can just do that,
Seafood.
and you do it one day at a time. I did it 3 days this week. I did it 7 days this week. I did it one day this week. That's all right. Just do it when you can, right? And you do some healing, and you build up your percentages. You guys, I'm really pumped up about all this. Are you going to the CEUPW? Because I want to see you there. I'm excited to see you there. It's going to be really exciting. Sign up to the
Gusto ko
UPW.
din.
Would love to see you guys there, because we're going to have fun. We're going to talk about this stuff and
Tagal pa
more.
naman yun.
It's going to be really awesome. And you guys are incredible. Seriously, it's an honor to be here. Truly honor to be here. Amazing. Amazing.
Ay, shit. Patayin yung music. Kasi na tayo makaka-copyright.
Vaccine mandates, obviously, but some people have just said they've had this break and they've done
When you can, right? And
Uy,
you
busog na.
how most doctors are. We're understaffed by doctors and nurses in this country. They work so hard. They work around the clock. They work in ways that
Si
are unhealthy
tatay
to
pala di
themselves,
kumiinom ng
but they
kape.
don't have time. Imagine me on coffee. It would be scary, wouldn't it?
Hindi siya nagkakape.
So, but I start every morning with either a warm or cold water with lemon, which is alkalized, and then celery juice. And as I remember years ago, I was like, why is my doctor telling me these things? You know, I was kind of frustrated that they didn't give me any tools. But, you know, when you go to medical school, there's really almost no nutrition taught at all. I just showed the Harvard study in my book. It's even worse than that, because the half-life of a medical education day, according to a 2017 study by Harvard, half-life means after how many years after they're gone is half of what they learned worthless because it's been superseded by new information. The half-life, according to them in 2017, was 16 to 24 months. But the projection was that by the time you're viewing this book, which is 2022, that it would roughly be 30 days. That's how fast things are changing. And docs work so hard. And there are very few people that work harder on this earth. They care so deeply. They're people of such integrity.
I'm on a
But a good way of
fasting.
understanding
Ngayon,
what they go through
break
is,
ako ng fast.
imagine you're a person that really cares and you're walking by a riverbed and then you hear somebody screaming in the river like they're drowning. And you hear them because you care. You don't think about yourself. That's most doctors. You dive in, you save the person, you pull them out, you give them mouth to mouth, and you get that splurge out of them, and they survive. And as soon as you've helped them, you hear 2 more screams. And so you jump in the water, you save one, save the other, work your tail off, save them both, come out, and then you hear 4 more screams. That's how most doctors are. We're understaffed by doctors and nurses in this country. They work so hard. They work around the clock.
Thank you, doctors and nurses. We appreciate
but they don't have time to go upstream to see who's throwing them in the river. And our nutrition is a huge part of that, our nutrition and lifestyle. I saw somebody say, well,
because my health
it
is
doesn't taste
not
that good. It doesn't taste good because your body is very acid. After you do it for a period of time, your body will become more alkalized, which is what you really want from a health perspective, and it won't taste bad to you. If it disturbs you when you first do green drinks, because there's a lot of toxins in you, so you can just make it less concentrated. You can do like a third of it or even 50% of it as water and dilute it just a little bit, because it's not the juice that's messing you up, it's what's in there that's got to come out that's making it happen. And this is one of hundreds of things that you can do, but it's a great base. Like he said, it's a great foundation. And once you make it just the regular thing you do, you'll see a big difference. And other green drinks are great as well, but the amount that you're able to get from celery juice and alkalization and what it does for your adrenal glands, which is important for me, so you have that energy available to you, is really, really critical. So that's one piece. Now, I'm going to do a couple of Q&A, like 3 or 4 questions that people have been asking real quick. There's a couple on these, but I began to see the patterns. Remember I said everything that makes you strong is pattern recognition. Once you recognize the patterns in finance or your business or your body, and then you got to figure out how to utilize those. And then it's really cool when you can find people that have created new patterns no one else has had before. And that's what I did with money, and that's what I did with Life Force. So I actually interviewed 168 Nobel Prize winners, scientists, doctors, but the ones that are the best in the world at what they did, not just any local doctor. But, local doctors are all telling me, for example, part of how I wrote this was I went through a crisis. I was snowboarding like a crazy person. You can imagine a 6'7" guy coming down the side of the mountain on a snowboard. And I don't snowboard that often. And I was chasing a 23-year-old professional snowboarder. Didn't forget the age. I was an idiot. And I had a wreck. I thought I broke my neck. I thought I broke my skull. But what I did do is I ripped my rotator cuff so badly that I've lived in pain a lot. I was 5'1" in high school. I'm 6'7" now, so 1.5 meters to 2 meters to give you your translate for you. That's how much I grew in a year. People say, how do you do that? I say personal growth, right? But it was painful. So I've had a lot of pain in my life, in my back and my spine, just for the way that I grew and expanded. But this pain on a 0 to 10 was 9.9. I mean, like, barely moved, nerve pain. Like, I slept 2 hours in 2 days. One day, 45 minutes, the other day, an hour and 15. And so I went to these surgeons or doctors, all of them like surgery immediately. You got to do surgery. And then I said, okay, well, what's the prognosis on the surgery? I mean, give me the full picture and, how long to recover? And they said, well, could be 6 months if it doesn't go perfect. Could be a little longer to recover. And so meanwhile, I'm supposed to do a seminar with one arm tied to me. Like, I can't do that. It's like, there's got to be a better solution. And then I found out that a lot of times it re-tears after the surgery. And I had a friend who literally can't raise his arm above his shoulder who had the same surgery. So based on all that, I said, there's got to be another answer. So this is what started me on the journey. So I went out and said, okay, whatever options are there? And I knew about stem cells. And then I went to Dr. Peter Diamandis, who's a dear friend of mine. He's a rocket scientist, but he's also, a lot of your friends of his or fans of his. He's also a Harvard MD. And he knows everybody in the tech business and health business. And I said, what are the alternatives? And he said, stem cells. I said, yeah, that's what I thought. But man, a lot of rinky-dink things, like how do I know who to go to? He goes, you got to meet Dr. Bob Harari. And I knew Bob. I met him once before. He's a neurosurgeon. He's a genius. But he said, no, he's one of the fathers of stem cells. He did the original study where they took old rats and they gave them young rats blood. And the old rats developed dark hair again, muscles, and the young rats got older. And that started this like vampire blood stuff you may have heard of up in Silicon Valley where they're trying to get young people's blood. They're not doing it anymore because what they found out was what was in that blood was in the younger animals was these stem cells that were still alive. And that's what makes you who you are. And as you get older, those stem cells start to drop off the cliff. And so you don't repair as fast. Anyway, long story short, he said to me, for example, part of how I wrote this was I went through a crisis. I was snowboarding. To me, for example, part of how I wrote this was I went to Paris fast. Anyway, long story short, he said, don't go here, 7 now. So 1.5 meters to 2 meters to give you your translate for you. That's how much I grew in a year. People say, how did you do that? I say personal growth, right? But it was painful. So I've had a lot of pain in my life, in my back and my spine, just for the way that I grew and expanded. But this pain on a 0 to 10 was 9.9. I mean, like, it barely moved, nerve pain. Like, I slept 2 hours in 2 days. One day, 45 minutes, the other day, an hour and 15. And so I went to these surgeons or doctors, all of them like surgery immediately. You got to do surgery. And then I said, okay, well, what's the prognosis on the surgery? I mean, give me the full picture and, how long to recover? And they said, well, could be 6 months if it doesn't go perfect. Could be a little longer to recover. And so meanwhile, I'm supposed to do a seminar with one arm tied to me. Like, I can't do that. It's like, there's got to be a better solution. And then I found out that a lot of times it re-tears after the surgery. And I had a friend who literally can't raise his arm above his shoulder who had the same surgery. So based on all that, I said, there's got to be another answer. So this is what started me on the journey. So I went out and said, okay, whatever the options are there. And I knew about stem cells. And then I went to Dr. Peter Diamandis, who's a dear friend of mine. He's a rocket scientist, but he's also, a lot of your friends of his or fans of his. He's also a Harvard MD. And he knows everybody in the tech business and health business. And I said, what are the alternatives? And he said, stem cells. I said, yeah, that's what I thought. But man, a lot of rinky-dink things like, how do I know who to go to? He goes, you got to meet Dr. Bob Harari. And I knew Bob. I met him once before. He's a neurosurgeon. He's a genius. But he said, no, he's one of the fathers of stem cells. He did the original study where they took old rats and they gave them young rats blood. And the old rats developed dark hair again, muscles, and the young rats got older. And that started this like vampire blood stuff you may have heard of up in Silicon Valley where they're trying to get young people's blood. They're not doing it anymore. Because what they found out was what was in that blood was in the younger animals was these stem cells that were still alive. And that's what makes you who you are. And as you get older, those stem cells start to drop off the cliff. And so you don't repair as fast. Anyway, long story short, he said, don't go here in the US. There's too many things here. Here's where you need fresh stem cells. And he said, not fetal cells, because he knew I would never do that. He said, these, like, when a baby is born, they throw away the cord. And those cord stem cells can be 4 days old. They have the force of life force in them. And he said, I really believe if it didn't work, you can always go with the old approach, but why not give it a try? I went down. One doctor, before I left, diagnosed me, literally looked at me, and he told me how great I was, and I saved his marriage. I didn't go there. It just happened. He knew my stuff, and he made $5 million. I mean, it was ridiculous, beautiful stories. I love hearing them. And then he goes, but now I got to be your doctor. He goes, let me show you your spine. He said, it's not just your shoulder. You have spinal stenosis so severe, your life as you know it is over. He said, no more jumping, no more running, no more snowboarding, no more this. One good hit, you could be quadriplegic. I was like, I said, you didn't go to my communication seminar, clearly, by the way you delivered that shit, right? It's just like, and somebody punches you in the gut and you're ready for it, but I wasn't ready for it. So long story short, I went to do these stem cells. The first day I did these stem cells, and I did 150 million of them, and they were 4 days old. I just felt relaxed, tired. I did an IV and a shot in my shoulder. The next day I did it, I felt I had a kind of cytokine response, kind of a shaking, kind of cold feeling, but I knew what it was. I wasn't afraid. And I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning with my shoulder perfect. Not 4 months now, not 3 months from now, perfect. I have an MRI, my shoulder's perfect. But more importantly, I had spinal stenosis, and I had no pain in my spine for the first time in 14 years, ladies and gentlemen. How incredible is that? So I decided to get all in on stem cells, but then I discovered regenerative medicine, and there are things happening now that you would think would be 20 years from now. For example, there's a company that's in stage 3 of the FDA. The FDA in the US, stage 1 is safety, stage 2 is efficacy, and stage 3 is efficacy at scale, and then you get approved. So they're final stage right now. They think they'll get approved by early next year. One shot, and if you have osteoarthritis, it stimulates your own stem cells and you regrow all the tendons in your body. But it's like, Dolly the sheep. How do you take an old sheep and get a brand new sheep? Well, the epigenome, you may have understand, is what drives everything, not your DNA, and it's clean. And so you get like the equivalent of 15-year-old tendons, and you have no more osteoarthritis. I mean, I could go for 45 minutes, but to answer your question deliberately, by the way, I got invited to speak.
What was your question?
The Pope puts on a conference every 2 years, a stem cell conference, regenerative health conference, because it's not fetal tissue. He said, friends change, so he sees this as a gift from God. And I got invited to a 4-day conference with the best doctors on earth, and they asked me to be the cleanup speaker, and I thought, I'm not just going to be cleanup speaker, I'm going to go for the whole thing. And I sat through that, and that's why I wrote this book also. It's like, okay, there are tools people got to know, and I'm going to put them in one place for everybody. So how does it affect my teachings now? Everything. When you're at a health seminar here at the UPW, it's in there. I'm bringing Dr. David Sinclair to a variety of our programs. He's probably the top longevity expert in the world. He's 53 chronologically. He's 33 physiologically. I've been applying what he's talked about for the last year. I'm 61, going to be 62. I'm 51 in my body. So my goal is to get it to 41 in my body. So it affects every single thing that you can experience. And I want to mention for everybody here, I decided that even if you're going bronze, I'm going to give you my book. I have to pay retail for it because otherwise the donations don't go out that I've donated. So it has to have a certain profit. So I'm going to pay the $30 literally for all of you who are going to UPW. And bronze includes like 10% of your ticket because I want you to have this book. It'll change your life. You got to get this book, Life Force. So I'm going to give it to everybody here in UPW. But hopefully, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much. Give her a big hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. Kailangan natin i-mute yung sound because stem cells. Celery and stem cells. Drink celery juice in the morning and then let's take a look at stem cells to make us younger.
Get it out as soon as you can. So we'll send
Kaya pala mabilis gumaling yung nanay ko kasi nag-stem cells yun siya. Social. Kada capsule, parang 1K yung isa.
This is your last chance. We're at 85% now, so we only have 15% left based on Zoom. So we'd love to have you if you want to come join us at whatever level you want. And then we'll come back, and I got 2 cool surprises for you. One of those is we're going to take you through, you may have heard we do something called a blessing experience, this meditative experience. A lot of people don't meditate. I never meditated, had no desire to meditate. But I'm going to bring in a dear friend of mine, Master Co. and Sage Robbins, and we're going to take you through this experience. And then I have a speaker for you that is incredible. She was told she had a 10% chance to live.
Pangit ko today na because my heart is not okay. Pero
you need to
kaya
understand
natin
the
yan.
power of your mind also to heal your body. There's 2 chapters at the end of the book. If you don't read anything else, read those last 2 chapters because it'll show you what the mind can do based on science, what's measurable, as well as what's going to give you that quality of life. So let me throw back to KK real fast. There you are, KK. Give it up for KK, everybody.
Thanks so much. Give it up for all of you and Tony.
Kailangan natin tanggalin yung sound eh. Ano tayo? Copyright.
We're in different parts of the studios. We all planned to go home, and then Tony was like, I want to do a 6th day. So we're all tuning in from different parts of the world, and I've got the notes up here, your guys' chat box, and I want to give a shout out to Zoom, YouTube, to every single person for really listening to those questions. And I wrote a note down, and I think Tony's still watching, but he said something one time several years ago when I first heard Tony explain this whole conditioning thing. And I wanted to share it with you just 2 seconds here. Think of it like a CD, okay? When Tony says this is inspiration and education, what you did for these 5 days, and at a UPW, what you're doing is conditioning this into your body. You can think of it like a CD. If you remember back in the day when you had CDs, okay? I'm young enough but old enough to have had CDs, okay? And a CD is like a program.
And your mind is like a computer, and we all run these programs. So for 5 days, you kind of learn intellectually how you want to change these things about yourself, about your beliefs. But in order for you to really, really change it, you have to scratch the CD, okay? Like scratch the program. So when you go to play it, it doesn't play the same song anymore. If that makes sense, double fist bump and say yes. When you scratch the program, here's the key, okay? Day 3, Tony said, I think 3 times today, talked about Dickens' process. Once you scratch the program, you then reprogram yourself with what it is that you want. So you're creating this transformation from inside you. So I just didn't want you to miss that, especially Shaquirban Barsa in YouTube. I saw you put your question in 17 times. This is why I answered it. She's like, I don't get what you're talking about. What do you mean programming? That's what it means. So with 4 days with Tony, you're actually able to reprogram yourself, scratch that CD so that you're creating these transformations in real time. So I wanted to say that. I also wanted to walk you guys through in detail every single option that you have, but I want to explain to you one thing. The goal is for you to be able to have the 4 days. So if you go to upwvirtual.com, if you can just put the link up right here so people can see it, just go there and empower yourself to at least look at the website because you can read all this information. But I want to walk you through the 3 options, and I want to remind you the goal is for you to just have UPW at least, okay? So you'll see when you go there, there's 3 options. The gold option is the way that you can work with Tony for an entire year. This is a really juicy one because not only do you get the 4-day immersion with Tony, March 17th through the 20th, but you have something called Inner Circle. You can see on the screen here. We're really passionate about this. You get Tony 3 times a year live. It's the most intimate way to work with him besides people that pay like $1 million a year. You get him 3 times per year. You get coaching. You get community, which is so great. And this is a beautiful package, but here's what I noticed. I saw a lot of you saying, oh, shucks, I really can only do bronze, so maybe I'll just wait. This package is wonderful if your yes button is like, go for it. And there are some of you that right now, you just got to get in the door to UPW, unleash the power within. And for you, that might be the bronze level. So if you go to upwvirtual.com, you can see every single option. The silver option is the middle package. You guys can get in for $695. It has a couple additional programs. It's really great. But the bronze package, I'd like to bring that up on the screen so you can see it. This is the place that you can really honor yourself and feel proud as heck when you click the button and get yourself in, because guess what? You get all 4 days of immersion with Tony Robbins. That's 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. full throttle. Even if you're international, we're going to get you a sleep doctor so you can work on, reworking your schedule. You get all 4 days of the event. We're going to ship you an event materials box to your front door. We're going to do pre-training with you so you're set up for the event. So wherever you are in the world, $395 is like $8 a day from now until the event. And I want you to feel dang proud of yourself for going in on that bronze level. It's $395. He's never done that ever. My first event, you guys, I'm passionate because I found did you hear that? Found $1,495. I illegally used scholarship money that I got from something, so keep that on the DL, but found is the key. Get resourceful and get yourself in. You guys, that bronze level is $395. You can see the special right here on the screen, upwvirtual.com, and don't miss it because here's why. I want to remind you guys, I wish I could lean in, but I'm kind of far away from the camera. You can't tell. I have no pull. So you guys think just because I'm up here on the challenge next to Tony, that for some reason when this thing ends and the price goes away, that somehow KK can squeeze you in through the back door or something. I have no pull, okay? I'm up here because I love Tony. I love this mission. I love what this has done for my life. But if you missed the challenge bonuses, which we gave you like 30 of them, okay? Do we have a screenshot actually of all the bonuses? We have, I'm not kidding. I tried to explain them to you guys the first day of all the bonuses that we have. And I was like, you get this one and this one and this one and this one. I want you to think of them like they are Christmas presents that you can open up at any point throughout the year. We have a series of bonuses. You can work with Tony. That's the first bonus. You can work with Dean. We've extended that. So even if you sign up today, you're going to get his bonuses. We've got Jesse Itzler's Planning Your Entire Year. I took that course. It was great. We have a ton of bonuses. So make sure that you guys go and check it out. But this is what I wanted to say. I can't help you if you miss this. We're at 85% sold out. So it could be gone in the next 10, 30 hour. So don't miss your shot. Once the bonuses are gone, the price is gone. This is for the challenge only. So I want you guys to get in upwvirtual.com. And then now every single one of you is going to get the Life Force book. If you're US, shipped to your door. International, you'll get access. Let's give it up for Tony for that incredible additional bonus for you. So upwvirtual.com. And if you guys are in, put I'm all in. But what we're going to do right now is put 7 minutes on the clock. Why 7? It feels good. And I want you to use this time to enroll yourself, to say yes for yourself, to jump in, and then know that in 45 days, you will be with us at Unleash the Power Within. Okay? Don't miss this moment. 7 minutes on the clock, my friends. Get yourself enrolled, and we have an incredible surprise for you when you get back. Big love, and we'll see you soon.
Tanggalin niya yung music. Tapos na ba? Big love. Forward natin. Ay, tapos na? What? Yun, si Mommy Sage. Mommy! Pina-forward ko, tapos tinatanggal ko yung sound para hindi tayo makapiright. Feeling ko makaka-copyright pa din to. Yan, sige, sayaw. Magsasayaw sila, guys.
Grab a seat feeling strong. So, the external energy that can make things happen, but also that quiet energy that heals you. If you know about how your body works, we have a sympathetic nervous system. That's a part like when you're
Quiet energy to heal you.
And we have a parasympathetic part. That's what you do to heal and get stronger. And some of us get out of balance. I can't imagine who might do something like that. But one of the ways you can balance that is meditation. But I was never drawn to meditation because my meditation was going for a run on the beach, or someone stands up and serving them and God coming through. But I experienced something about, almost 11 years ago that changed my life and my wife's life massively, changed her body. For time's sake, I won't take you all through it. But there's different types of meditations, and I think you'll enjoy this one. And so Sage's going to take you through this along with a dear friend, Master Co. Here's a quick video to introduce you to Master Co.
Gusto ko yan, energy. Meditation.
Since ancient times, people had used
Yin and yang.
and what people don't realize
Who's
is
my
practicing comes from the word prana. So this
yin?
prana is all around us, and when you do your breathing, you do your meditation, you do your prayers, all of it is harnessing this energy to keep your body strong, healthy, and be able to heal yourself faster.
Something so beautiful.
Worship ang kailangan, guys.
Yeah.
I worship. Ay, shoot! Bawal.
So unconditional love.
That is so unconditional love.
Meaning,
Something so beautiful to be with you once
Ganda
again.
ni Mama Sin.
Hi.
such an opportunity. And we're here to share with you a meditation Twin Hearts that I learned from my teacher, Grandmaster Twakok Sui. And the whole idea here is giving and sharing. And we are having ourselves as vessels and instruments to bless our families, our relatives and friends, bless the world. We're not the one blessing, we're just allowing ourselves to be channels for it.
Yes.
What do you think, Sage?
Yes, of course. And for those of you, maybe in your mind you're thinking, gosh, I'm not a meditator. I don't meditate. I've been there. And, from my experience, I remember the first few times I tried meditation and I had this weird expectation that it was supposed to look a certain way or feel a certain way. And what I've learned through this practice is that no matter what you feel, no matter what you see, that's
Sama kayo,
perfect. No matter
guys.
what
Ligo
you
tayo.
sense,
Charis.
because it's really about tuning into ourselves. There's so much energy taking us out here in the world. And meditation is about calling and collecting our energy back for ourselves, to connect to our true nature, and to discover the inner world, which blesses us, as Tony mentioned.
And just put yourself in a very calm, peaceful place. And let's just close our eyes and take a deep breath. And forgiveness.
And forgiveness.
And image.
Prayer lang yun. Yes.
Harmony.
Harmony.
And divine peace.
Divine peace.
So be it.
So be it.
Can you feel the love flowing through us? The roof of your mouth. And just a few inches above your crown.
Are you into meditation, guys? Me, I am into prayer. Meditation and prayer is actually different. When you're meditation, you're meditating, you're like focusing on, ano ba, more on self, something, parang being in control. However, if you're worshiping, when you worship, you trust God, you focus more on God and who He is. So, whatever works for you, pero I myself, what I do is worship. That's it. So that's a truth that we have to worship. It's chanting.
But it might be nice to find a place where you're able to slow down, go into parasympathetic. But it might be nice to find a place where you're able to slow down, go into parasympathetic. It has healing power for your body.
Galing ng ganun, may
and your
partner
mind and
sila
your
too.
emotions. Make it happen. Now, as our final speaker, I want to introduce a person who's become a dear friend of mine. She was actually one of the first podcasts that I ever did. I reached out because I heard about this woman who decided she wanted to become the world's greatest triathlon
Wish I have a
athlete.
partner that I can do business
she didn't know
with.
how to swim, and she did it. And so I became
I don't have kasi the guy that I like doesn't.
But then about a few years
Meron
ago,
siyang
year and a half ago, I
others.
guess it probably been now, I don't know the exact time, I'm sure she'll share with you. She was
Don't like
diagnosed
me.
after this incredible physical life
I guess.
with cancer.
Yes.
Told she had a 10% chance to live.
Yes, he
And
doesn't.
obviously, since she's
Sure.
here, she's cancer-free. But she's just a beautiful soul, and I think you'll be inspired and remind you of the power of your mind and your emotions to give you what you want. So watch this video and
I think
Sorry, Lindley.
letting him go around. Sorry, touches your entire body.
When you change your story, you change your life. Start crying.
I just see you healthy makes me so happy. So beautiful.
Tony, I am here because of you.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's because
They
of you.
know.
I'm glad I could help.
I ran the whole 5K not knowing I had my helmet on. I was a joke in a lot of people's eyes. Because I ran the whole 5K not knowing I had my helmet on.
Wait lang. What happened?
Because of you and the tools that you gave me and the work that I did to condition those tools, I've become the master of my emotions, of my mindset, of my meaning, and of my health. And for that reason, I have been able to overcome every grave challenge that I've been faced with, and I have been able to take the impossible and make it possible. So, thank you. Thank you. And to all of you, how amazing has the last 5 days been? Unbelievable.
Energy talaga pala.
What a beautiful and generous gift that Tony has given us all. But this is only a taste, a small taste, if you can believe it, of the incredible values and insights and tools that he shares at his live events like Unleash the Power Within. You must move forward on this path. Because think about
Moving
the
forward.
greatest success you've had in your life?
Moving,
With that
moving
success, did you just,
forward.
were you told what it would take to achieve it and then it just happened?
No.
No. You took those tools and you immersed yourself and you became obsessed and you worked hard every single day to become the person that could achieve that goal. You condition those tools, and that's what you must continue to do. When I was 23 years old, I wanted to be the best in the world in triathlon, which is swimming, biking, and running.
What do I want
It
to
was
be the
ridiculous
best
because
of?
I didn't even know how to swim. It was a ridiculous goal, but you see, my life up until that point
Best
in
mom.
time,
Best
I really had no one that I could count
teacher.
on.
Best.
And
What
I
am
think
I?
one of the main reasons why I
What
wanted
am I
to do
gonna be
this
best of? I don't know yet.
is that I wanted to prove to myself that I could
A
count on me,
businesswoman.
that I could count on me always.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't know how to swim. I'm 23 years old. I did my first race. I came in dead last. People laughed at me because I ran the whole 5K not knowing I had my helmet on. I was a joke in a lot of people's eyes. But you get to go first in deciding what's possible for you. You get to go first in deciding what you can create and what type of a life you can live. Don't wait for someone else to tell you what's possible or what your life should look like or what any challenge should mean to you. You get to choose. And I knew that I had this burning
Best
desire,
vlogger.
this insatiable hunger that meant that no matter how many times I failed, no matter if it took me 50 years,
Yep.
I was going to do whatever it
I'm gonna
took
do
to
this
make
in the
this
long
happen.
run, and it doesn't matter if
And believe me,
if
I failed
no one is beside me
over
or
and over and over again.
I'll be doing this alone,
But
or
really,
even if it takes longer than I
There's a
expected,
beautiful
I
lesson.
will still do it.
that comes when you fail or when you fall short. And as long as you take that lesson and you learn from it and you grow from it, that failure becomes a victory.
Yep. Yep. True.
After 8 years of dedicating my life to this goal, after multiple failures and disappointments, 8 to 10 hours a day of intense training, being
I
terrified
take
every
control
single
of my
day.
life when I start 2011.
And after my biggest disappointment to date at the Olympic trials, just months later, I became the triathlon world champion and the #1 triathlete in the world until the day I retired 2 years later. It's possible. Thank you. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to commit to now? Here, Tony's giving you these incredible tools. You too can become the master of your mindset,
True.
the master of your emotions, meaning, and health. It might even save your life. You have to continue on this path. In 2019, November, life was so amazing. I had everything that I had ever dreamed of. Everything I had worked hard for my entire life, happily married to my beautiful wife. My career flourishing, living on purpose with a mission that lit me up every single day. Life was amazing. Until I got a phone call. And I was told I had acute myeloid leukemia with a genetic mutation that really almost made this impossible to treat. Less than 10% chance of survival. But before I could get wrapped up in all the horror and all the sadness and everyone crying, everyone freaking out and thinking I was going to die, I went first and saying, no, that is not the story that I'm going to live. My life is everything I dreamed of. I'm fighting for this. I'm going to survive. And I'm going to thrive. decision that I'm surviving. And number two, I changed the meaning of it. This wasn't the end. This was the beginning. And this journey, this challenge was going to be something that I needed to go through to become the person that I so dream of becoming. Being able to have the impact in this world and the people around me that I dream of having. Don't you think that giving it that meaning served me well? Giving challenges and empowering meaning, reframing what's happening to you. You may think you're healthy or an athlete, then if you're so healthy, why'd you get AML? Well, if you go to UPW, you'll see day 4 is all about health and vitality. And you realize that there are toxins and poisons in our everyday products that can turn on the genes that you don't want turned on. That's probably what happened to me. But what I knew is I needed to stick to habits and rituals. How do you get the kind of strength and energy that you need to achieve anything or to overcome any challenge? You develop and condition habits that serve you, that energize you, that give you confidence and certainty, put you in a beautiful state every single day. Everything I had learned at UPW, that you'll learn too.
It's conditioning talaga. Mind conditioning. Even listening to this motivational seminars, it's actually conditioning your mind.
My God, exercise, movement.
I don't have that.
Do you know that no matter how sick I got, even the day after my bone marrow transplant, I got up and I walked laps around the hospital corridor. Why? Because it gave me energy. It made me feel strong. It gave me hope. If I can move, I can survive. If I can move, I can thrive. No matter how sick I got. I got really sick. There were days when all I could do is not even pray, but just say, God, just please help me. But what I had inside of me that all of you will get through these events is a certainty inside that I had everything I needed inside of me.
Yes.
To overcome this.
Yes.
If I discipline my focus from how sick I was, to how blessed I was, to have amazing doctors and nurses and people that were thinking of me and praying for me and loving me. Gratitude. Giving it an empowering meaning, looking for the gift, all the gifts that arose from this. And I am now cancer-free, and I get to live.
Hey! Wala yung gata-gata.
Oh, it's almost been 2 years. Almost. But it still makes me so emotional. Because when you're faced with your own mortality,
True.
you get so much clarity.
True.
And I
Yeah.
realized
When I got sick before, for my operation in the ovary, that's when I realized na, oops, teka, parang I'm getting old na pala talaga. I really need to focus on health and the wellness and all that. So, yeah, you'll realize your mortality. You'll get clarity when you face your mortality. You get more clarity when you face your mortality. Truth yun. There is parang marirealize mo talaga yung importance ng buhay. Pag dumaan ka like into needles, yung operation and all that. I had my 2 operations before, and it's because of siguro lifestyle. Kasi mahilig ako sa hotdog. Pero yung isang hotdog, hindi ako mahilig doon, ha? Yung normal lang na hotdog ha. Kayo mag-isip ng kung ano-ano dyan ha. Hotdog na normal lang, yung color red. Tender, juicy hotdog. That's what I really love. And then, lechon manok. And then, corned beef. So, usually, chicken, ganun. Parang mostly pag ulam, I go for like prito or adobo. Tapos, barbecues. Tapos, corned beef. Ganun talaga. Ano ba? Pork and beans. Hans pork and beans. Ano pa? Those are really not healthy food. So, ngayon, I wanted to focus more on eating healthy food. Kumakain naman ako ng gulay din before. Siguro dahil lang sa lifestyle at sa work, sa type of work ko as a call center agent. Parang talagang for quite some time, parang nakakain ako ng gulay sa loob lang ng mga once a month, ganun. Minsan nga, hindi talaga eh. So, lifestyle. So, we have to focus on our health as well. Take care of your health this 2022. It's nakakatawa to realize na may ganun pala yung para sa stem cells, it will make you younger. Aaralin ko yun. Gahanap ako ng business na magano ng stem cells. Gusto ko yung Usana dati eh. Usana. Kaso, kailangan malaki ang ano mo. Parang every month kasi dapat umiinom ka din nun. Nakakayaman yung Usana. So ngayon, part ako ng Usana before. Actually, part pa rin ako hanggang ngayon. Hindi lang ako nag-order. Kasi it's like, parang yung pinaka-basic is you have to drink din kasi your own medicine na binibenta mo, syempre. Kasi you're not just selling it for profit, but you are selling it for the benefit ng tao. So, mostly mga doctors, nurses are into Usana. So, kayo, if you have like 20,000 to spare every month, at you want to get into the business, I recommend Usana. Nakakayaman yun. Kaya, gusto nyo yumaman, sige, go na kayo. Mag-Usana na kayo. Di pa kaya ng budget ko na mag 20,000 eh. Ano lang nga ako eh, tipid nga lang ako ngayon this time. I am making tipid of what I have. Hindi ako magastos, promise. More on food and bills lang ako ngayon. So, ngayon magpo-focus ako sa business. Meron kaming travel agency ng magkakapatid. Actually, marami na akong na-sign upan. VIP, GoG, V-Mobile, yung Unex, Kappa, ano ba? Yun, so I am into MLM. I believe na nakakayaman naman talaga yung MLM. Pero hindi ko type yung pagod na dinadala. Parang kung nasa pinakamataas ka, ikaw unang kikita, syempre. Pero if you're just on the middle, mahirap. So, like yun, si Boss MLM yung inano niya ngayon eh. Hindi mo na ako nag-sign up kasi. Ang dami kong kailangan gawin sa buhay ko muna bago yun. So, pa nga muna ako eh. Nag-leave muna ako. I mean, yeah. Muna ako. Pahinga. I need to focus on myself muna kasi yun nga na-audit yung bahay ng kapatid ko. I need to go there. Tignan yung apuyat niya ako. May isa pa akong pending kay boss. Hindi ko pa nagagawa. Wait lang, boss. Yung is, hindi ko pa na-check yung video. Ngayon, may sined na si George. I'll look at it. Focus muna tayo. Me first.
Is that I wanted to live every single moment of my life on purpose, in alignment with what mattered most to me. And I knew that in order to do that, for you, in order to be there for your kids, to be there for your loved ones, to achieve the success you want in your career, to take those amazing trips, you have to have your health. Health is everything. Without it, you have nothing. trust me, please don't wait. Don't wait for a diagnosis to finally take charge of your health. Start now. And to me, health is physical
I'll
health,
start with celery.
mental health, emotional health,
Celery lang pala ang energy.
and spiritual health.
Okay.
And when you take care of all of that and you have health all around, you can achieve and be everything you dream of. But most importantly, you can be the gift and the example for the people you love the most in this world. You can do the things you dream of doing. I know you can do them now, even if you're not treating your body like a luxury vehicle, if you're trashing it like a rental car, and maybe you're succeeding. That's great. But bad habits will compound over time.
Yeah.
You must take charge.
Bad
of your
habits
health
lead to late nights,
now.
standing alone.
And Tony, I want to offer something because anyone who signs up for UPW, and let me tell you, you may not believe that masterpiece of a life could be yours, but guess what? It can be. And the only thing getting in your way is your own mind and your own beliefs. You deserve to live the masterpiece of life that you dream of in your dreams. You deserve that. And I'm here to tell you, I wasn't anything special as a teenager, as a 20-year-old. I was nothing special. To be honest, I didn't feel loved at all. I felt like a crazy person. There were so many things I was going through, but you know what? I had this seed of belief that I deserve more.
Yep, I
And so
deserve more.
do you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to offer, just to get you started, anybody who signs up for UPW, a 7-day free fat loss and fitness challenge. And I'll tell you why. Exercise. You talk about state. Tony talks about beautiful state. You want to increase your energy. You want to improve your mood. You want to feel good about yourself and feel strong like you can take on the world. Then get up and work out just 15 minutes a day. I created this when I was sick. Because every day, that's one thing I did. I worked out for 15 minutes, even if it was just slowly taking tiny steps from the bed to the couch to the chair. But it gave me energy, it gave me hope, and I want that for you. So anybody who signs up for UPW, Siri and Beck's 7-day challenge, it's free, it's community, live workouts. You get to share it with us, and we become a family. But to each and every one of you, please, be the champion of your own life, and I'm telling you the way. I'm giving you directions. I'm writing out the map. It is doing these events. Unleash the power within. That's where it starts. Please just do this for you. You so deserve it. And if you're afraid, that's okay. That's okay. Everything amazing I've ever done before this, getting on here, is so scared. But fear's an invitation. It's an invitation to take your life to the next level. It's an invitation to believe in more for you. Look at this man. He has saved my life. He's given me the tools to be where I am today and who I am today. Thank you, Tony. I love you. Please, everyone, accept this magic. I love you and thank you, Tony. Thank you for having me.
Remove the music. Galing. Siri. The future is now. Copyright tayo, copyright. Susunod ka po. Tatay!
How many of you felt that in your heart, in your soul, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I saw some people, oh, she's over the top, what a great actress. No, when you face death, when everyone says you have a 10% chance of living, and you find a way, you be a little bit passionate too. Give it up for Siri Lindley, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible.
True. When you face that, like right now, you'll tell me na parang actress and everything, like just like what they said to the, we're not acting, this is life. If you face that, you'll give it your passion, whatever possible way that you can share.
Afterwards, so 5 minutes after the end here, KK.
5
Give it up
minutes.
for KK, ladies and
Give it
gentlemen.
up for
It's our last time together.
Thank you so much.
So
Thank you so
pretty,
much.
KK.
Well, yes. You guys, this is my last time with you. I have really enjoyed being in your screens and your homes and witnessing your energy. And I just want to start off today by saying, holy heckin' Bob, you showed up. Some of you, it was your first time ever meeting Tony, and you're here giving everything that you have, really learning what it means to unleash. So I want to honor you for that. And in my last couple minutes with you, I
Galing na
was
magsalita.
stalking you guys in YouTube. I'm really good at my job, okay? Stalking and looking at all your questions. And a couple final questions that came in that I want to answer right now for you guys. And some of you have the same exact one, so I'll go through them. Some people said, and this is about Unleash the Power Within, can I upgrade to gold later? And I thought this was such a good question because some of you are so, concerned about, do I get the gold or do I get the silver? Or do I get the bronze? And you're thinking about all the options. Let me give you a Tony Robbins quote, an original, okay? Tattoo this on your arm, shout it from the rooftop. He says, complexity is the enemy of execution. Keep this simple. Just get yourself to UPW. I would just grab the bronze and you can upgrade
Complexity
later.
is the enemy
Question
of
number one.
execution.
Question number two that came in is,
Ganda.
do I know that I'm actually in for UPW? You guys will get a
Ano ba yan?
confirmation email from
Kalat
our
yung
team
aking
within like 24 hours or so. But check your junk folder, check your spam folder, because it might get locked up in there. So look for that, but you are in as long as you go to upwvirtual.com. That is the
Complexity
link.
is the
You guys can
enemy
read
of
everything that I'm sharing
execution.
here. I love supporting you, but you
I'm
can
so
find this information
complex,
on there.
yeah.
Someone even asked, how do you sign up on the website? You are going to have to scroll down, okay? Maybe like 8 or 9 times to get to the options, but you'll see them on the page, okay, my friends? And then finally, I want to say this. We're at 89% full, okay? That's capacity. We are on Zoom, so there's a limit to how many of you that we can have. In my heart, I want every single one of you to be there with us because we're going to have an incredible time. But I want to say this. If you are waiting for this to sell out so you could be like, oh, whoops, life decided for me, looks like I can't go.
Hello
Don't do
to
that now.
everyone that's
Because
watching
likely, if you're
and
doing that now,
listening
you do that in
to
other
Tony
areas of your
Robbins
life as
again.
well, too, right? Like,
I'm
oh, should
done
I get that flight?
eating
Let me just wait until it
and
books up and it's sold out and I can't do
yeah,
it.
I'm just
Make the
recording this
decisions
for
for your life on your
my
terms.
lips,
And this is one of those
for
moments.
my own
UPWvirtual.com. I'm
copy.
going to be there. Tony's going to be there. We're going to have a heck of a time. And I hope that I see you guys there. Make your life a masterpiece. And I want to leave you with one of my favorite quotes from Tony. Okay? One of my favorite quotes from Tony is this. He says, I challenge you to make your life a masterpiece. I challenge you to join the ranks of those people who live what they teach and who walk their talk. A lot of people say they want one thing. They want a great life. They want love and passion in their relationships. They want more joy, more spark, more intimacy, but they don't do what they need to do to get that done. Walk your talk. UPWvirtual.com. I can't wait to see you there, and I want to give a huge congratulations to every single one of you that are already joined and have been a part of it. And I want to change what we put in the chat box to a fire emoji. So go inside your phone if you're in as of today and you're joining us. Put a fire emoji in the chat box. Let's have a massive celebration for all of us here. And then one more time, you know I love a little energy, Craig. Warm up your bodies, ladies and gentlemen, so we can get a finer.
Done na. That's it. Ligo na ako. That was like good. Ano yung pinaka-question kanina? Pure celery lang pala kailangan, guys. Guys, whoever is watching this and whoever is listening to this learning, we should try celery juice for the whole year. I'm gonna do this the whole year. I'm gonna commit to this celery drink. Do not add anything though, just water. It's a good thing to know, hindi pala nagkakape sila, ano. Sila tatay at si Nanay Sage. Tatay Robbie at Nanay Sage. Ay, ang dami palang may question.
Yes, we have Sophie Green. And I think we can bring Sophie actually up to the screen right now. I think she's waiting.
There
to
she
chat
is,
with you.
Sophie.
Pretty.
Let me hear you.
I'm in the south of England.
In the south of England, ladies and gentlemen. And your accent, that would be totally awesome. Can you imagine?
That's what Americans will say to me.
Tell me, what's your question? How can I help?
I was wondering if you have any tips for overcoming imposter syndrome, because I've had a lot of career growth recently and a lot of public interest in my work, and the more that sort of grows, the more I have feelings of like being a fraud or like I sort of don't deserve the success.
Yes. This is a modern new concept, imposter syndrome. I don't know what year it was made up. It was made up many years ago and people attached to it. And you hear it so commonly now because people feel like it's like a thing. It's like a disease. And so when something is a thing, it's hard to change. A process is easy to shift. And really what you're experiencing is fear. But I want you to know, you shouldn't feel bad about it because it's so common. You know, Anthony Hopkins, a good friend of mine, one of the greatest actors of all time. And Tony, I call him Tony. Tony's, he memorizes everybody's lines in the entire script. That's how obsessed he is. That's how committed he is. He's not only the most amazing actor of his generation, or at least one of the top 2 or 3, but literally that's his level. So if someone forgets the line, because I've done a couple of movies and I was blown away that nobody's prepared. I'm prepared. They weren't prepared. Because they do it a million times, right? But Tony will finish their line for him, give the line to them. That's how obsessed he is. And Tony, when he first came to me, Anthony Hopkins, he's like, I feel like an imposter. Like people are going to figure out who I am. He acted like this gruff guy. When I met him in person, he was one of the sweetest, nicest, most outgoing guys. But if you see him in interviews and everything else, he holds it all because he thought he had to be a certain way. If he had to project a certain way. If you're an actor, this is how you're supposed to be. It's just an identity he built up. And you're starting to build it. But let's look at what it really is. It's just fear. You're afraid of failure. You're afraid of success. By the way, who here has had fear of failure? Raise your hand, you got a fear of failure out there. Make some noise. Put it in the chat box. Who has a fear of success? Let me see your hands out there for success.
Somehow.
Who has a fear of both failure and success? Okay, well, you people are screwed. It's over. Forget it. Right? But usually they go together because we're afraid to fail, and then we're afraid if we succeed, more expectation will be there, right? That's what you're afraid of. And then what if I don't live up to that? And so it's all just fear. So if you can know that it's just fear, fear can be changed in a few moments by a radical change in your physiology, in your focus, or your language. Remember that triangle, right? The triad that we talked about? And so you need a compelling reason to do it, and you need a stronger identity built into you. But let me just say this first. The way I changed it was twofold. Number one, I started doing those incantations. I know that sounds silly, but I had a program in mind because all that's happening is, tell me what happens when you have the imposter syndrome. Tell me what you focus on or what you say to yourself. Show me what you do with your body and face. How do you breathe? Can you think of a situation where you start to feel it?
Yeah, I get
so think
kind
of
of now.
Right now, okay, good. So think of it.
It's like, who do I think I am?
Who do I think I am is the question, okay?
Yeah.
And who do you think you are?
Just Sophie.
Yes. And so just Sophie is a just generalization, a distortion, and a deletion of so much of that you are. Is there a Sophie in there that is incredibly generous?
Yes.
Is there a Sophie in there that's really loving?
Yes.
Is there a Sophie in there that is a crazy bitch at times?
Oh, yeah.
Is there a Sophie in there that can be silly?
Yes, definitely.
Is there a Sophie that can be worried?
Yes.
So there's all kinds of Sophies in there. And what we need to do is bring the Sophie. Remember I said in a relationship, the most important thing is selection. like who you select within yourself to bring to your relationship will create a different response, right? If I want to change you, the best way is change me. So the focus for you is to see there is a Sophie that's not just Sophie. There's a Sophie that has a gift. And it's not bad to have a gift. Like, I work my tail off with my gifts, but I also believe in grace. I believe that God has given me a gift, but I've done my part. I believe the two come together. Not everybody believes that, but the core belief is that there's a gift. You may have developed it. You may have been born with it. You may probably some combination of those things, and the gift is probably going to get stronger when you put yourself out there. But there's no way, like when someone says when you're going through hell, what do they say? Keep going, right? That comes from Churchill. Right? So, good man to listen to, right? So, your experience is just, I got to get out there and experience it. But the other part is, you really got to focus more on the service than anything else. I literally had this conversation by way of audio. I won't mention the name, but someone in your country is very famous. They called me this morning, a friend of mine, and they haven't been on stage for a while. And they're going on stage, and they're starting to have these questions like, wow, I haven't done this in a while, and will I be this enough or that enough?
Because of my
and I said to him, you know what it is?
I cleaned up myself.
Who you are.
Picked up them.
Everyone does this. But I said, here's how I do it. I stopped thinking about me. I focus on serving those people. If you're obsessed with feeling your audience or the people you want to serve or whatever the situation may be, and you're focused on feeling them and just knowing before you start, I'm passionate about sharing this with them because I know I've got something here that's useful or beautiful or helpful or whatever. You will not have that problem. That's the problem with public speakers. Most public speakers get up, and as they're speaking, they're thinking about how they're doing. Versus what I'm doing is I'm feeling all of you and seeing what you're experiencing and seeing what do I need to do to be helpful in this moment so I'm not thinking about me so there's no fear. And so I think if you were to do that, but also some incantations. And by the way, that's what we do at the event too, so that they become real for you. And what I mean by incantations is like mine. You know, I now command my subconscious mind to direct me in helping as many people as possible today. I give me the strength, the energy, the vitality, the humor, the brevity, whatever it takes to show these people and get these people to change their life now. How come I can ring that off so fast? Because I've been doing it since I was 17. And I do it every time. And do you think I could get up here without doing it? Of course I could.
I am
but
beautiful.
I am magnificent. So that when someone shows up, I can serve. So I prepare properly, and then I focus outside myself to what it is I'm here to serve instead of myself. And I would drop, when I talked about watch your transformation vocabulary, watch your words, get rid of the imposter syndrome because it makes it a thing you have, right? And then, I got to deal with my thing. No, it's just I'm feeling a little fearful right now. So, okay, let me change my state. Let me refocus. Let me do some incantations and let me get my butt out there. And after you do it for a while, suddenly it'll be there. And the other part is
self-empowerment.
You do these incantations with I am.
Incantation.
Whatever you attach I am to,
I am beautiful. I am
and enough consistency,
strong.
You will become.
I
Because when you have
am
that thing, well, I'm just Sophie,
reliable.
and that physiology and that facial
I am
expression,
not
all those things,
lazy.
there's nothing wrong with that. That, part of it is probably trying to show yourself that your
Such a
humility and
sleeper
not
kasi.
too big for your britches, and those are all honorable things. But you can do it in a different way. I am a force for good. I'm a force for God. God comes through me right now, or the universe, or whatever your belief system is. When you can see the source of your gift is you, but it's also something greater than you. And if you're trying to serve something more than yourself, then you're gone. And when you're gone, there's only the beauty of your gift. Is that helpful?
Good, nice.
Very helpful.
Be
Thank you.
gone
Thank you very
and
much. Give her a big hand. Sophie!
the beauty of your gift is X.
We're live and you got a KK.
Grabe to sila tatay.
Texas!
Yes.
It's true,
yes.
isn't it, Michelle?
Just a little bit.
Tell me, what's your question? How can I be helpful?
So I'm super excited as a VIP to be getting a copy of Life Force. But more importantly, I want to know, how does the work that you did on Life Force impact your future trainings and teachings?
Well, it's already impacting them. I interviewed, if you read Money Master the Game, or if you were focused on that, I decided, there was so much BS out there about finance. And you saw back in 2008, that's when I decided to write it. It's like all these people being taken advantage of because we're not sophisticated in that area. Every culture has pieces of the culture that have power. And part of they have power is they have language you don't have. So lawyers have a lot of power because most people don't know what those words are. They got to pay them to even interpret it, know where it is. It's quite an interesting experience. And the same thing is true with money, but also the same thing true as medical. And very often we just think because somebody is a doctor that makes them an expert. And as I said earlier, most doctors are working their tail off. I have enormous respect. But what I did is I went to the best in the world like I did with finance. I didn't go to some local person or somebody who said, oh, I can manage your finances. I went to the 50 richest people on earth that started with nothing, and they all did it in different ways. But I began to see the patterns. Remember I said everything that makes you strong is pattern recognition. Once you recognize the patterns in finance or your business or your body, and then you got to figure out how to utilize those. And then it's really cool when you can find people that have created new patterns no one else has had before. And that's what I did with money, and that's what I did with Life Force. So I actually interviewed 168 Nobel Prize winners, scientists, doctors, but the ones that are the best in the world at what they did, not just any local doctor. But, local doctors were all telling me, for example, part of how I wrote this was I went through a crisis. I was snowboarding like a crazy person. You can imagine a 6 foot.
I already listened to this earlier. So yeah, it's like a reaction video. No, I am learn with me. Like this is how I learn. I listen to motivational speakers, especially Tony Robbins, Matthew Hussey, sino pa napakinggan ko? Lewis House, Mel Robbins, sino pa bang napakinggan ko? Si Ed Milet, Gary Vaynerchuk, yun. Those are the speakers that I really listen to. And other Christian motivational speakers or inspirations na spiritually naman, I listen to Pastor John Gray and then Stephen Furtick. So I just have few. Those are the people. Even Real Talk Darbs. Most recently, I've been with him. Like I'd been trained, especially in writing, and he was training me, and yet he was paying me. Like he's so amazing. Tapos, yun nga. I need to detach myself because I know that I am getting deeper. Like, parang in love na talaga ako sa kanya. I'm falling in love with the guy. But, meron yung girlfriend I know. Parang sama may girlfriend yan. So, maybe it's not the right man for me. And then, yeah, we had our conversations about things. And I just love that the discussions we have are matured enough that we can say whatever we want to say without even disrespecting each other. So, yun. Thank you so much, Real Talk Tars, for being my mentor for the last couple months. I started October, and then November I was out. December I was in until January, and then this February I need to go home. Go to Cebu and fix some things, and then focus on myself right now. I'll always still be there, of course. I'll stay. And it's just that yung focus ko at saka yung parang all-out support that I've given would be a little different because I really need to fix some things in my own life, and I wanted to take control of what's going on. So that's one thing. Focus on health, as my vision is to actually be healthier. I started already my fasting. If you can see me na if you saw me, I just ate ngayon lang. Alas 2 na madaling araw. It's actually because I am fasting. I wanted to, have, kasi, tapos na ako mag 16-8 eh. So I'm trying 24 hours. 24-1 ba yun? Yung parang 24 hours. And then eat one meal in an hour. Ganun. Parang ganun. Tapos, Ngayon, I'll choose healthier choices like celery juice. That's one thing pala. Kasi what I did before that had helped my body was actually to drink Del Monte. Pero, of course, mataas pa na ng sugar nun. Pero it really helped me. Sobra. Nung nagpapagaling ako, talagang nagpagaling sa akin yun. Nakatulong siya sa paggaling ko. Talagang juices. Tapos, yung mga shake, ganun. And, yeah, ngayon, I just need to focus on myself and I'll go and take a bath. I take a bath. I actually don't want to take a bath early. Why? Because I get sleepy. Pag nakakaligo ako, inaantok ako. So, to keep myself awake, I should not take a bath. I don't know why it happened that way. Pero, ano kasi, nung nag-call center kasi ako, ganyan. So, bago ako matulog, naliligo ako. So, parang naging habit ng katawan ko na pagka maliligo ako, aantokin talaga ako whether whatever time is it in a day. Talagang snooze out. Kaya nga pinapagalitan ako ng nanay ko dati na why am I sleeping with my hair wet? Ganon. So, I'm taking a bath pagka alam ko na mapatulog na ako, kaya paligo na ako. Parang paantok na paggabi na. So, my time right now is 3:12 a.m. And may isa pa akong susulat dapat talaga kay Real Talk Darbs. But tomorrow kasi I'm leaving mamaya pala, going to Cebu. So, thank God, I will still be keeping the house and si mami na daw bahala magbayad. O, di ba? Kasi meron siyang dapat, yung share ko, pero mas malaki pa rin yung ibibigay ni mami. Yung yung nandun kasi ako, nagbigay din ako for bills, pang sasakyan and everything, food, ganun. So, yun lang, tulungan lang talaga in life. And mostly talaga ito si mami ko, si mami rin Vic. Parang siya na talaga yung guardian angel. Guardian angel. Tapos yung mga kapatid ko din, of course. It's good to know that Tony Robbins does not drink coffee pala. Maybe kaya pala hindi nangyayari yun kasi what I was like envisioning is actually having coffee with Tony Robbins pero with my future partner, ganun. Having coffee with them in a plane pero hindi pala sila nagkakape. O di sila celery tapos kami kape nung yung isang guy, kung yung guy na dapat ay kasama ko, kung hindi man, edi hindi. Yung guy na yung guy na sinabihan ko nun. I think I remember now kung sino yun. Yeah, pero whoever is with me at that time, hindi na pala kape. We're not gonna have coffee na. We're gonna have celery drink. So I'm gonna start that one. So that's it. Have a great night, and I am conditioning my mind. This is my way to condition my mind. Every day, I'm gonna have like self-growth. More than I do with the work, I have to feed myself as well. So more than prayer and all things, all that, parang yung life ko, I wanted to keep it like, I wanted to be in control with my life, especially in health, kasi my health, I want to have a muscle. Muscle. Kita nyo ba? May bago na pala akong tattoo. Yan. So, it's an armor. It's an armor. Ganda, no? It's an armor. Always live in truth. Hanapin yung Ephesians 6:10-18. Tapos, ito naman yung mark. What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? So, yan. And that's it. Good na ko, guys. Good night sa inyong lahat. Whatever you're doing, enjoy. Yun, yung imposter syndrome, that's a good thing as well na to figure it out na talagang it's just that imposter syndrome, dumadaan talaga ang tao sa ganyan. Hi, Sam, 1 million na nanonood. I'm just recalling the lesson that I had with Tony Robbins, and that imposter syndrome, we all go through to that, na para bang, is this for me? Ako ba talaga to? Or is this someone else? Ganun. Natawa ako kanina kasi I look back on the video that I watched, and then sa dulo nun, nung nakaread ako, sa dulo nun, I said one thing nang hindi ko na-realize nila, sinabi ko pala yun. But that's part of who I am. Like, there are parts of us na there's some time that we are strong and we are good at work. Minsan naman we mess up. There are this part of us that sometimes we mess up, and then sometimes you're in control, sometimes we trip off, ganun. So whatever happens, ano man ang nangyayari sa life nyo, always be true to yourself, and minsan you'll realize na, am I true to this? Ganun. In this area, have I been truthful? Yun. Hanapin nyo yung laging, parang who you are in whatever you do. So, it's good to know that, when you're having an imposter syndrome, it's just that you are having an area na hindi ka sure, or meron kang fear, like fear of being judged, or your fear of being successful, you're having fear to fail, kaya parang yung pinaproject mo, or yung identity na meron ka is parang nagda-doubt ka tuloy that you're having an imposter syndrome. So for myself, I do not have that kind of parang struggle in myself, kasi I always see to it na once I do this, kasama ko, parang it's really who I am. Like even when I'm writing, parang I do not write something na hindi ako naniniwala. Like I do not want to share this to people pag alam kong hindi siya swak sa sa prinsipyo ko, ganun. So whatever I wrote was actually from my heart and from who I really am. And I really thank God na nagkaroon ako ng opportunity to be a writer ni Real Talk Darbs for quite some time. I know medyo gusto ko habang buhay na gawin yun, pero there are some things I need to do first on my own na kailangan ko siyang gawin. At yan, kasi medyo nahuhulog na talaga ako. Yarn! Hindi pwedeng masyado tayong ma-attach to someone na hindi naman tayo mahal. Di ba? Ganun. Tapos, yan. It's okay. Tapos, one thing then, so moving forward, what I am planning right now, mamaya is actually my flight, 6 p.m. Pero we're trying to rebook it and do it like February 3. Kasi darating din yung pamangkin ko. Tapos, yun, madami pa akong tutupiin, marami pa akong gagawin kasi it's like a new life for me. Pagdating ko doon, I'm gonna focus on designing yung bahay ng kapatid ko kasi nga na-audit yun. It has been affected by audit, and then I need to assess kung what we need to throw, what we need to keep, what we need to do, and go from there. Tapos, in my work naman, pahinga muna ako. I will not be working anything about, writing and all that. Pero willing naman ako if in case my boss, my ex-boss that I love, ex-boss will contact me, I'm always there. Yan. Pero yung siguro yung focus will be, yung attention will not be like the way I used to be. At kasi para hindi ako masyadong mahulog, ganun. Hindi ako masyadong mahulog. Nakakaloka. Anyways, I just thank God for the opportunity, and then the time. Ganun naman talaga when love knocks on your door, you know it. When love needs to leave, you have to open the door for them. And I thank God kasi hindi niya ako parang hinold back. Like, Siyempre gusto ko din sana na na he'll parang pero kasi meron yun siya eh. May someone yun eh. So, let go natin pag may someone else. Kailangan isa lang talaga. Ako lang. Ayoko nang may kahati. I'm very territorial. Pagdating sa love, I want the person to be just mine. Kaya nga ako nag-ano sa iba eh. Nag-let go. Irons! So, if you wanted to watch how the tattoo was made, ito, this armor that I have, so proud of myself. I did it. Mas masakit to siya compared dito sa kabila. Parang 3 times. 3 times yung sakit niya kasi talagang kinakayod. Tapos nakakatawa kasi yung dito, sa laki ng braso ko na, talagang nagkukwento ko. Sa laki ng braso ko, hanggang dito lang yung abot niya. So sabi ko, hanggang dito lang yung stencil. So sabi ko, i-extend niya. Nilagyan na lang ng bulaklak. Kaso, hindi kami nagkaintindihan ni Kuya. Gusto niya pala dapat diretso. Eh sabi ko, hindi pwede kasi dapat nasa ibabaw yung flower. So parang kalahati na lang siya yung rose, which has meaning din naman. Parang yung naapektuhan yung petals niya. So sometimes we go through that na life gets us broken. Hindi naaayon sa gusto natin. There's no really picture perfect life. And that will make you stronger. Whatever is trying to tear you down, that will make you stronger. In the end, parang be open lang to new changes sa buhay natin. Whatever leaves, whoever wants to leave, let them leave. Whoever wants to stay, let them stay. And whoever wants to keep the relationship, keep it. Yun. Parang no hassle. Ano lang tayo, ayoko ng hassle. Ay, sa totoo lang, yung sa parang nahihiya ako pag ako yung nakaka-hassle ng tao. Ayaw ko yun. I want them to experience na when you're with me, there's no less hassle. Parang I'll be adding more to your life than taking away from it. So right now, kailangan ko kasing parang napipressure talaga ako na, yung mga kapatid ko, may pinapagawa sila sa akin. Ganun, yung pag-uwi ko nga sa Cebu to be doing this interior designing. Tapos, yung business namin for the WCA, yun. So, that's it. For the WCA, sa travel agency, ganun. So, kailangan ko pang-aralin yan. So, yan, ito din is medyo kulang siya. Pero okay lang naman. Basta matakpan lang yung braso ko. So, I'm so happy with my tattoo. I'm so happy with my tattoo. Stronger. That's it. Thank you so much, guys. And you take care of yourself. And, yeah, eat healthy food na, ha? I'm struggling with that. Pero I'll do my best this 2022 to eat well. Eat well. That's it. Have a great night. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. May ganun-ganun. Ayoko na ganun eh. Like, subscribe. Yeah. Bala kayo dyan kung mag-subscribe kayo. Kung hindi, di wag. Bye-bye.